Practice exercise 6.14 removeAll is going to ask us to write a method called removeAll that removes all occurrences of a specific value. Here is an example of what's happening. Read through it on your own. We can assume that the following LinkedInList class exists, and with that in mind, let's start coding. It's going to be a public void because we are not returning anything, we're just modifying something, and it's going to be removeAll. No parameters are taken except a single integer, int n, and this is going to be the value that we're going to be removing in our linked list. So let's start this out. There's a few different scenarios that we have to account for. One is, what if they're, I'm going to use 1 for this one, what if they're all the same value? So 1, 1, 1, and then null. What if it starts at the beginning and then we have like other values? Or what if it starts, or if it's at the end? So we'll have like this. And remember, these are all linked together. So these are different scenarios that we're going to have to code for. Well, what I'm going to do is, you could do this with like a next and a previous node and link the two together once you remove the bad one. However, what I'm going to do, remember when the current pointer is pointing to the front, we can check the next node, is that I'm going to check the next node always. And so we can go inside of this method. We know we need a while loop, while. And since I said that I'm going to be checking the next value, the next value would be 3 in this bottom scenario, we're going to do a current.next does not equal to null. We want to continuously run that until it does not equal to null. Otherwise, we're pretty much at the end. We have two scenarios in here. If it's the one we want to remove, so if our current.next.data is equal to n, or if it is not. So we're going to say else, and that's going to be if our current.next.data does not equal to n, which in that case we're just going to set our current equal to current.next. That way we can iterate through to the next value. If it is though, so that means let's say 3 is the one we want to remove in this scenario, what we're going to want to do is take this value going to here and remove the pointer going to this 3, overwrite it, and have it go to the next value. And so in this if statement, we're going to set our current.next, sorry, because that's the pointer. The pointer coming out of 2 is current.next, and we're going to set it equal to current.next.next. And that's pretty much going to remove 3 from our list. And then when we're done, we're going to go in this while loop again. We're going to have a 2, and then 1, and then this. Currently, we're still going to be pointing to this right here. We're going to hit that else statement and then move to this next one, and then that's going to be it for that. So that's going to be pretty much it for this while loop right here. These are the two different cases we have to code for, but what if it's at the beginning? Because I said while our current.next is not equal to null, so it would completely skip over this first one. Well, let's code for that in here. And we need to make a new list node since we're using current like we already made a variable. ListNode current is going to be equal to this dot front. So it grabs the front value from this LinkedIn list up here earlier in our class. Before we get into this list node though, what if our front is 1? Well, this is going to completely skip over it because it's only running while our current.next does not equal to null. So we need to have a while loop here, because what if this next one is 1? Well, this is going to still skip over that. So inside of here, we'll do a while loop, and we want to run this while our front value, so this dot front, does not equal to null, otherwise we reach the end of our list. And we have another condition where this dot front is equal to n, because if it is, then it's the value that we want to remove. Currently our pointer is going to be pointing to this first one. We want to remove any reference to it and just move the pointer to this next one here. So in doing that, we're just going to set our this dot front equal to this dot front dot next. And that's basically moving the pointer over 1, removing any reference to this variable right here. With that in mind, we should be able to submit and see what we get. We have incompatible types. I meant to put this .front.data here because we are comparing the data at this pointer This one, we're just looking at the pointer, but this one, if we're comparing it to a value n, we actually have to compare the data value at that pointer. We've passed 9 out of 10 tests, so close. And the reason why we didn't pass these is because it threw a null pointer exception, and I'm thinking that has to do with this while loop right here. So it says while current.next is not equal to null. Well, here's the thing. If we remove all our values here and only our pointer is pointing to null right here, we're still going to try to run this while loop. So we also need while our current does not equal to null, and we'll have that in an and statement. Both of these must be true for this while loop to run. So both the current value and the next value can't be null. Otherwise, we have an empty list. So ending that though, we'll pass 12 out of 12 tests. And that's how you do this exercise 16.14 remove all.